to another brand new episode here on Sunny Side Up Farms. How are you all doing? I hope you're having a good Friday. And my day is not going so bad, thank you for asking. It's not too bad. The weather's quite beautiful here at the moment. And I say quite beautiful because it suits me. It's very cloudy, it's quite warm, it's quite mild outside, it's quite cloudy, and just every now and again we get a light drizzling of rain, and that's my kind of weather. I like that weather. That's my ideal summer, that is. But I realise for the rest of the nation that would not do. But yeah, so. But that's the way it is out there at the moment, and I have been outside. So I said to you a few months ago, I'm not going to go on about it, but well, a few weeks ago, that I spoke to Vivian, my heart surgeon, and said, like, you know, I asked her if I could take some cold remedies because I just could not fight off a cold and sore throat. That I kept getting rid of it, and then it would just come back sort of worse than before. Anyway, in the end, it sort of kind of carried on. The flu remedy, kind of, you know, Lemsips and different things like that, sort of did help. They did, you know, sort of help to make me feel a bit better. But anyway, whilst I was on the phone to her, she was sort of asking in general, you know, how's your heart, you know, how are you sort of managing, you know, you okay, do you want to come in, you know, do you want us to, you know, do a thorough check, do you want us, you know, to do anything for you? And I was like, no, you know, apart from this rock cold, you know, otherwise I think I'm okay. You know, I said, I do get, you know, problems with my heart. I said, but, you know, that's to be expected. And she said, sure, you know, don't worry about it. But one thing she did say is, you know, she said, like, what do you do with your days? And so I sort of said, and she went, well, she said, you know, I get, you know, she said that that's what you enjoy doing, and that's what you like doing, and all of that. She said, like, I understand that. She said, and I wouldn't, you know, for a second tell you not to do it. She said, however, she said, you do need to get outside. You do actually need to go outside. You do need to try and do, you know, little bits and pieces just to keep the body moving, because otherwise you're going to find that you're going to have muscles that, you know, just won't work, and they're going to waste away. And I mean, like, when I worked on a farm, I had quite big arms. I was quite thin and had, you know, sort of quite big arms, because it needs to, you know, you have to be a very physical person to be able to work on a farm, and that, you know, was sort of the way I was. You know, I was, as I say, I was quite a physical person, and as I say, you know, sort of muscly arms and what have you, you know, was quite good. Now, because obviously, you know, I've been sort of at home now for a few years, now I'm really fat and with really thin arms. It's like my arms and my stomach have kind of traded places, and that's the way it is. But so yeah, this week I've been getting out a little bit more. I've been sort of, you know, outside and just sort of walking around and what have you, and it's not been the best week to start, really, but that's what we've been up to. And as I say, out there at the moment is absolutely lovely. Just my kind of weather. So yeah, it's good. Anyway, enough of all that nonsense. What are we up to today? Well, as you can see, we have got yet again the combine out in the field. So you remember from the last episode, we did the canola field in front of us with the straw textures flashing away there. Really does help with the immersion, that does. We'll call it a heat haze. I mean, it's 32 degrees on the game, so we'll call it a heat haze. But yeah, so we did that canola field. That now is in the shed, all safe and sound, and hopefully we'll get a good price for that fairly soon, because I want to get that sold off. We've got some more eggs that could do with being, you know, sold off, so that'll be a really good thing as well. Between the two, we're probably looking at sort of 600,000-700,000 maybe. well, 500,000-600,000 maybe, and that will definitely help us with quite a bit of what we want to do. So obviously we want to get a hold of the pig farm next. That's the next task that we've sort of, you know, armed ourselves with. We want to get hold of that pig farm and start pig farming, and you know, with that we're going to need sugar beet. For that we're going to need sugar beet equipment. So you know, we've got a lot of investment over the next sort of 3 to 5 years on this farm. You know, the chicken farm has gone very, very well. We're earning good money from it. We are getting, you know, to the point where, you know, it's really, really, really good money coming in from the eggs, and so what I'm sort of, as I say, want to achieve next with getting the pigs, and then once, because I mean, you know, if you think of the pig farm, so that's like nearly 400,000 I think on its own. Then you've obviously got to pay to put the pigs in. To put the pigs in, we need an animal trailer, so that's another cost. Then you've got, you know, as I say, sugar beet equipment, because that's what we're going to feed the pigs. We're going to feed them on sugar beet, certainly for now, because we just don't have the capacity to grow, you know, a full mixture of, you know, things that it needs. You know, so then you've got that, you've got, you know, potentially straw blowers, you know, because we need to put straw in, because we want the manure. From the manure we get free fertiliser, you know, and liquid manure obviously we get free fertiliser. So yeah, you know, we've got massive investments coming up over the next sort of 3 to 5 years, because once that's up and running, I then want to get the cows. Now I have had a thought with the cows, it might be cheaper and easier to get the cows up and running first, because with the cows we could buy the barns down on the dairy farm. Around that dairy farm is some grass fields, and they're relatively cheap grass fields as well. Now I was thinking, you know, the plan has always been one, because there's 2 cow pens down there, or 2 cow barns, and in one we have dairy, and in the other one we have beef, and that way, you know, the beef ones we can sort of keep trading quite regular, especially if we buy them at medium age, and then as I say, then, you know, we can just fatten them off, and then you know, send them to the butcher, and the hook weight on them will be quite good, and that will obviously keep bringing us in money to replenish the beef stock with, so we can use the beef to replenish the stock every time, and we will eventually get to a point where we will just be breeding enough our own, you know, to not have to worry about, you know, keep buying in new stock. So eventually we'll get to that point. My plan is, you know, sort of a long way down the line from here, is that what I want to do eventually is build a new dairy barn. The beef barn is fine, I'm quite happy with the way that's set up and everything, but I would like a new dairy barn, and you know, there's a few options open to us in terms of a new dairy barn. So yeah, I would like to kind of, as I say, get creative and thinking about that, you know, to see what we can, you know, what we can do and achieve down there. So yeah, as I say, big thing, and not only that as well, you know, then you sort of, we were already doing the sheep, you know, yes, we're set up for the sheep were fairly easy to set up for, you know, so, you know, that's all good, but, you know, of course, with all of these things that we're looking to do, what happens? Another investment. We need more land. We get more land. Well, these little tractors and combines aren't going to cope with much more land. You know, so then we're going to need to buy new tractors. Now, the new tractors is kind of okay, because we can just buy second hand. You know, we've no need to go out buying brand new tractors. A farm this size, pretty much, you know, unless they had a big inheritance or something, then they would go out and treat themselves to a brand new tractor. But otherwise, you know, you would just simply buy second hand all the time. I don't want to get rid of the David Browns. I've said before, I think the David Browns, because all these fields down here are all sort of wheat and, well, eventually there'll be wheat and sorghum, so there'll be a rotation of wheat and sorghum, so that we can, you know, just grow enough food for the chickens. Because these fields down here, you know, that we harvest, the one in front, 3 behind, and then this one, that's enough wheat to be able to feed those barns, you know, in a farming year. So we're okay there. Yeah, so as I say, you know, I think probably over the next 3 to 4 years, I mean, you're going to be looking, or say 10 years, you're going to be looking at £4, £5, £6 million worth of investments that this farm's looking to do, and you know, we're literally going to be getting money in and spending it, you know, literally money in, you know, money out sort of thing. Yeah, that's the plan of the farm, I think, and I think you'll find it's a good plan. I'm hoping it's going to make us rich. That's what I'm hoping. Eventually, not for many years, because you know, you'll constantly be tweaking and setting up and different things. So you know, when myself and my ex looked into small holding and, you know, sort of farming, you know, market gardening sort of thing, but on a slightly bigger scale, you know, we sort of looked at all of that, and because of my heart condition, in the end, the decision was taken away from us, but we were kind of coming to the conclusion, I think, that because I had this condition, that at some point it's just gonna, you know, end everything, and no one quite knows when, where, or how, but we know that it's there. You know, we decided that, or I decided really, that I didn't want to get my ex into lots and lots of debt, and then, or, you know, sort of in terms of business debt, and, you know, me not be around to burden half of the responsibility. Now it turns out, as we've kind of got further down the years, that I shouldn't have been thinking quite so much about her. I should have been thinking more about myself, because it turned out quite a few years later that she clearly didn't give a shit about me. So excuse my French, yeah, so but we didn't do it, and it's not really something that I, you know, because sometimes you want to do stuff in life and you sort of then don't do it, and you sort of think, you know, I kind of regret that. I wish I'd sort of done it. I don't regret that. I think overall I made the right decision for myself. You know, like I'm saying, no longer taking sort of her and her feelings into it. You know, for myself, I think I made the right decision. You know, there is an evil part of me that kind of goes, actually, it'd have been quite fun to have just landed her in all that mess. Could have made her life a misery for the rest of it. But I'm not a spiteful person, so I don't say that out loud. Oh, well, never mind. But yeah, no. So, hang on, James, going down the wrong side there, son. Yeah, we're definitely going down the wrong side. We're going to need to empty. Oh, it's the only problem with that button being right next door to that button. Just ever so occasionally I do catch that button. Anyway, yeah, so but yeah, that's what the plans are for the farm, and I think they're pretty, as I say, I think they're pretty good plans. I think they're achievable plans. I think as long as we're not looking to achieve them in the next 3 years, you know, as long as we sort of accept that it's going to be a long-term goal, It's going to be a long-term project. It's going to be a very long time before, you know, we're sort of rich, if you like. If you know, if that was the aim in real life, to make yourself rich, it's going to be quite a while. One of the things as well that obviously I want to do, and it goes hand in hand, is I want to make this so that this farm, as I say, this farm down here can be run by the David Browns and the New Holland, the Ford that we've got, and stuff like that. But the rest of the farm, when we sort of get developing, when we've got cows, when you know, we're then sort of moving into obviously growing, you know, all of the crops that we can grow, and vegetables and potatoes and, you know, carrots and all of that good stuff, as long as with all the combinable stuff and the corns and everything. We're going to need big equipment, because these fields, I mean, these are relatively small fields on this map, but some of the fields are monstrous, and we're going to need big kit, you know, to get through all of the work in, you know, the time frame that you have to get through it. Hopefully I've stopped soon enough, because otherwise what happens is, and I've had this sort of kind of battle off camera with these tractors and trailers, and yeah, it's going to happen again. There we go. Oh no, no, no. It's still going to come. So what tends to happen is, it hasn't happened this time, but it's been happening all the time off camera, is that you get a little bit too close to the empty one. It stops this one and then brings the empty one to me. Then I've got two kind of half-filled trailers, and then that means that I can't get a full tank in either trailer, and then both tractors and trailers end up gone at the same time, and then I've kind of have to sit waiting for them to get back. Then they sort of collide and crash and what have you in the yard where they're tipping, and everything's just a continual mess. I have to admit, I think Auto Drive is a fantastic mod, you know, for delivering, you know, your crops from the farm to the sell points. I think it's absolutely awesome for that. However, and I probably am going to be quite controversial here, and I probably am going to, you know, annoy or upset one or two people. It is absolutely useless at taking grain from the combines back to the farm. And there is good reason why I say that. So the old course play, I don't know if you can remember, the old course play, you would set it up and you would, so basically, if we say that as us walking now, we're in a, oh my god, a minute, I need to get back in the combine quickly. Thought he'd left already. Oh, there you go, they've already collided. This is what I mean about it being useless. Right. So this happens, right? And the reason this happens with Auto Drive is because the beginning of the course and the end of the course have to attach, right? So they have to be attached. So what happens is, he gets to the end of the course, he sits there, but the problem is, because it has to be attached, this one then needs the beginning of the course, which is here somewhere, but now can't get out of the field because he's now blocking the entrance. And what they do is, they just sit staring lovingly into each other's bonnets, and no one moves. It's not like this one thinks, well, I know what I'll do, I'll go backwards and then he can go forwards, and then like we can sort it out from there. Like, no, this is what happens with the old course play. What you would have done was, in say 2019 backwards, because the feature was gone from 2022. You would be in this tractor. What you would do is you would sort of look at your field. You think, well, okay. So what I'll do is then, to make sure they don't collide, I will have the start of the course here, and I will drive out of the field diagonally. We'll go and do the field, blah 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 blah. Then we'll come back into the field, right? But we'll come this side. So when you drive out, you make sure that I would use this bit of grass here where the sort of entrance is. So I'd have the outgoing tractor on this side, because obviously it's going to turn onto the left-hand side of the road. But I'd have the incoming tractor coming down the right-hand side of the road, turning right, go all the way down here straight so that it doesn't go anywhere near the where the tractor will be exiting, come back. Now the only thing difference is it had to be on the field as far as I can remember. I would then have it come all the way down here and then stop here. Stop the course there, name the course, you know, field 157, silo empty or something, and never the twain will meet when coming in or leaving the field, because he'll go out on the left from over there, he'll come in on the right and come all the way down here, so he's out the way. And that was how the old course play worked, and it was absolutely perfect for unloading combines and you could have 6 or 7 tractors and trailers running, because they would just queue up this side, but every tractor that wanted to leave the field had an empty, you know, sort of free run that they could just go and do it. Auto drive doesn't do that. Auto drive is absolutely brilliant for having a lorry run to the farm, get the crop, take that crop to the sell point, run back to the farm, take the crop, and just doing that. That is what auto drive should have been left to do, because it is brilliant at it. It's far more better at it than what courseplay was ever at it. Courseplay strengths have always been field work and emptying the harvesters. And as I say, this way, you would not believe the amount of times I have to keep stopping to do this, all because the start and the finish course, as what I understand it from auto drive, and I'm not very good at auto drive, but this kind of proves it. And if we were to put the courseplay dots on, you would see the start and the end thingy is quite close. So yeah, it's really frustrating. It really, really is frustrating, because it ruins the immersion of what, you know, you're trying to achieve. As I say, it really does ruin, you know, for me, who, you know, sort of likes you know, playing the game like I used to, you know, we used to do on the real farm and what have you. It really, really, really does spoil, you know, for me, the game. I don't need you to move no more, mate. And that's the reason why, as well, I leave the auger out. Actually, why I leave. I won't come down. I can come back this one. Sorry, I'm just planning in case I end up full at one end. I need to be able to have the auger on the cut side, whichever end I am. So we'll do it this way around. It won't matter then, because we'll be the right side either way. But yeah, I say it really does ruin the immersion. So I'd love courseplay to go back to the old way of doing it, because now courseplay will still take from the harvesters, but there has to be a courseplay driver on the harvester. Well, I like driving the combine, I like driving the potato harvester, I like driving the sugar beet harvesters, you know, I like driving the harvesters. You know, that's kind of the 2 jobs on the farm that I really like on Farming Simulator. It's drilling and harvesting. I don't mind courseplay doing the rest. You know, courseplay is quite welcome to do the rest of the jobs, but they're the 2 jobs that I like doing. So yeah, anyway, as I say, I don't think courseplay will go back to it, but you know, the people who make courseplay, unless they're the same group of people, they might be, I don't know, but you know, the people that make courseplay should have gone, actually, you know, auto drive is a similar mod to what we're doing, but it doesn't do the same things that we're doing as well, so we'll leave it to do what it wants to do, but we'll carry on with what we're doing, you know, where, you know, courseplay will. And the other great thing as well about courseplay, which again auto drive doesn't do, is there was a setting in the courseplay settings that you could have it call an empty tractor and trailer, or on field level percentage. So it say if I don't want to, so if I've emptied into one of those tractors and trailers, the next time I want to empty, I don't want the empty tractor and trailer coming to me, because I've now got 2 half full trailers that I'm not going to be able to get a full tank in either one. And so, as I've said before, it means that both tractors and trailers will have left the field, and then I'm sat waiting. So with courseplay, you can set it to call the trailer that already had crop in it, so that you're only ever filling one trailer at a time. If such a thing as you got to the point, you know, at the start of a field or whatever, or the next field or whatever, you know, that you'd got to the point where there's 2 empty trailers. So then what Courseplay would do is it would call either the first trailer or the nearest trailer. If both were at the same distance, it would just call the nearest one, and then it would just flip back then to then only calling you know, the tractor and trailer that had got crop in it. So Courseplay was absolutely bloody awesome at doing those jobs, whereas auto drive, I don't really get on with it because I don't fully understand the complexities of how it works. For me, it's a bit of a simpleton. I do realise this is a me issue, not, you know, necessarily an auto drive issue, but it's a little bit too kind of complicated for me to kind of work out and to get working well. And auto drive will never work well, simply because the start and the end course have to be, you know, in the same part of the field, and then joined. I mean, it's like this, you know, why have you stopped? Literally, why have you stopped? And now you're just going to drive out. You know, do you know what? Honestly, frustrates the hell out of me. The best thing really to do is, I've discovered, is to have Courseplay driving the combine and have Courseplay do the tractors and trailers to and from the field. That does work fairly well. The only thing with that is that because you don't set the Courseplay course, Courseplay can sometimes drive into objects if it misjudges the turn or whatever. But yeah, honestly, it's I mean, the only other way around it is to leave your auger out so that it calls both tractors and trailers, get them both in the fields, and then sort of 7-8 times out of 10 they will go round each other. So I mean, that is kind of a way around it, but yeah, it's not very good. Here we go. Anyway, rant over. And you know, the other thing to say, of course, is that, you know, I would be nowhere near clever enough to make a mod like auto drive. So those, you know, the group of people that have developed that mod deserve a huge amount of credit, because, like I say, you know, for taking grain from the farm to the sell points, awesome. You know, there is no point using Courseplay for that because auto drive does it so well. So auto drive definitely has a place in Farming Simulator. I just don't think, I just wish that Courseplay hadn't pandered to auto drive and allowed auto drive to do all that kind of stuff, because auto drive doesn't do that very well. If they could set up auto drive where you could have the start of the course at one point of the field and the end of the course at the other point of the field, and you don't need, like Courseplay, you didn't need to join them up, that would be bloody awesome. You know, then auto drive would then again come into its own with unloading harvesters, but you can't run multiple harvesters because they'll just all keep crashing at the end of the field. You know, I've tried it on this map. I ran 4 sugar beet harvesters in the biggest field in this map, and literally I spent about, because it took Courseplay about 4.5 hours to harvest the sugar beet out of the field, and I literally spent that 4.5 hours continually pulling tractors apart, not only in the field but also on the road, because again, the people that made, you know, that did the auto drive courses for this map, for some reason had the course from the field to the farm and the farm to the field on the same roads. Most of these roads are only one lane, you know, only wide enough for one vehicle, so they all collided. You know, I've looked at the map, I've on my own sort of you know, sort of basis, have then sort of gone on to, I've, you know, created a new save on this map and then done my own auto drive routes where they do a circuit and it works much better. The problem is they still crash coming in and out of the fields because of how you have to have that set up, but at least on the roads they no longer crash. They are able to you know, to get round because I've got them on a circuit. So you know, you go to the farm on one road but you come back on another road, and yeah, there are 1 or 2 little places where you have to be on the same road. You know, that's unavoidable, but yeah, you know, never mind. We're able to play and we're able to do what we do, and I'm sure in the, you know, sort of cold light of day it's not all that terrible, but it's just frustrating sometimes. But anyway, I'm going to switch over to a little bit of time lapse. We'll get this field done, we'll get the next one started, and then because this has gone on for 30 minutes now, me ranting and raving and chatting away. Honestly, I could do every video just chatting. We'd never get nothing done. Well, I suppose we've nearly harvested this field, to be fair. And if we were to go on for 45 minutes, you know, we would have this field harvested. But I've noticed, actually, just very quickly, I've noticed a trend on YouTube at the moment that quite a lot of YouTubers seem to be doing, and I don't know whether you guys that watch these, you know, my series and my videos, whether you'd be interested or whether you're like, nah, just keep it how you're doing it. But a lot of people now have started to do the long format videos, i.e. hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. So at least 2 YouTubers that I watch quite regular, the Rad Brad, go check him out if you haven't done already. Absolutely bloody awesome, fantastic channel, can highly recommend it, you know, and certainly give him a sub if you're you know, if you like his content, because as I say, he's very, very good. And the one thing I like about him as well, he's very easy to listen to. He's a very, you know, obviously I don't know him, I don't, you know, he lives in America somewhere, you know, I'm never going to meet him or anything like that. However, what I will say is he's a very likeable man, and that if I was ever to meet him, I know that I would like him. You know, because as I say, he seems really, really friendly and really easygoing. And the other one is that I listen to quite a lot is Squirrel, but the English Squirrel, not the American Squirrel, because there's 2 squirrels on YouTube, or the 2 that I've found anyway. One's American and the other one's English, and it's the English one. I do watch the American one, just not as much. But as I say, Squirrel, who lives in England, his real name's Paul. Again, very good, but they're doing like hour, 2 hour videos, you know, and to be fair, Squirrel tends to do as well. Most of his videos are streaming, so that, you know, they're 5, 6, 7, 8 hours long. I mean, at the moment, I haven't got the capacity to do that, but it would be nice one day to do streaming and stuff. Yeah, so, you know, would you prefer it if I did hour, hour and a half, 2 hour videos, or, you know, I do try and keep them in and around as close to sort of 40 to 45 minutes as I can. Originally I was sort of trying to get into half-hour videos, but I just didn't seem to ever get much done, and I'm not very good at editing, and I'm not very, you know, so 45 minutes seems to work really well for, you know, what I'm sort of able to do in terms of editing and in terms of recording. But yeah, let me know. I mean, if you want to see longer videos, then you know, I can chat for sort of 40 minutes, and then we can do, you know, sort of 30-40 minutes of time lapse, not all in one block, but, you know, sort of so as it equals that amount of time, and then go from there. But anyway, I'm going to switch over to a little bit of time lapse. We'll get this field done, we'll get them all transferred over to the field in front that you can just see top left, and we'll get going in that field, and then we'll see where we're at. So I'll see you in a bit. Bye for now. So I'm back. Alright, hope you enjoyed your music. As you can see, we've been getting on, and we've had more disasters. For some reason the tractor and trailer decided he wanted to drive past where I was and then lodge himself onto a hill, which is of course makes perfect sense, and it's all good stuff. But yeah, and then the other one went and did it as well on the same hill in the same place, so that's good. But anyway, once we got them past those that disaster, then all is again well with the world. But yeah, that did make me smile, given everything that I'd sort of just previously said, and then and then that went and happened. But never mind. Yeah, so we're cracking on. We'll get this field finished. Probably get this finished off camera, most probably, and then we will get the next field done. Excuse me. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to do something a little bit different, I think, in the next episode, and just see whether that works any better. It was too late to do it in this field before the idea came to me, and it was something that I did do on another save. That I was sort of trying to, so a little bit like Scroff's the farmhand, I was kind of going to set up a save game where we had the equipment from one of the farms that I worked on, and I was basically going to, you know, sort of play the game like I was the worker, as I was in real life, and I would do all of the jobs that I did on the farm, you know, and that's what we would do. The only sort of issue was one or two little things didn't quite work out the way that I wanted, and not only that as well, because they could have been sorted out. But you know, we're doing quite a lot of different series at the minute, and I sometimes wonder whether the reason why I do struggle to get views and stuff is because I do too much all at one time. So after discussing with someone that opinion that I respect quite a lot, you know, one or two series are going to start to slowly come to an end, and I will either concentrate on this series and on 1950s, or I might introduce one more series and then try and do it that way. I'm not sure yet, but that was one idea that I had. But anyway, I was doing what I was doing, and it worked reasonably well, that particular part of it, so I might try that in the next episode, and see whether that does make a difference, and whether that does mean that you know, we will have slightly more success with the tractors and trailers, As I say, it's a pity it didn't come to me before I had sort of, before I'd already started with the harvester and got all the way across the field. It's a pity that it didn't come to me before then, but it is what it is. And as I say, I did sort of it did come to me during the time lapse there, and I thought, well, actually, I could try that. That might work quite well. So basically, what I'm going to try is have Cosplay do the combining. I drive one of the tractors and trailers, and Auto drives the other tractor and trailer. That way we can keep the tractors and trailers separate, because obviously, I can park somewhere else. I'm not dictated to by where, waypoints are and stuff like that. So, I'll be able to, keep them separate, sort of thing, and it might just make the whole thing flow a little better, and it might look a little bit more realistic and a little bit more immersive if we do it that way. So I probably will have a go at that. If that does work, that might be how we do things moving forward. Just because, as I say, sometimes the immersion and the sort of realism from these saves do get kind of interrupted and spoiled a little bit by the fact that Auto Drive does sadly make mistakes and isn't perfect, but it is a mod, and it's a fantastic mod, and I have an opinion because I use it, but at the same time, I wouldn't be able to do anything any better. I wouldn't, so whilst I have an opinion, it is still a fantastic mod. Right, now that you're well out of the way, son. I would have been better coming through the field, actually, so you can actually come along one. Actually, I'll wait until we get a bit further down. I know I can carry on unloading while you're beside me, it doesn't matter. But I want to obviously to have an empty tank when I go back the other way, because I need to cut through the field and open the field up. But that's fine. But yeah, so this is another way of doing it, is when you've finished loading one trailer, just keep the auger out. It then pulls the other tractor and trailer away from the entrance, and then sometimes they're able then to avoid each other, but it's not perfect doing it that way, but it is a little bit of a solution that does sometimes work, so and we can do that. But yeah, as I say, we'll get this down here, and then we'll cut back through the field, open the field up for the lands, and then we'll leave it there for the episode. We'll say we've done quite a bit. We did that field behind us, and we've now got this field with the headlands done and got the field opened up, which is all good stuff. So it means we can then crack on through the harvest, and we're getting towards the end, actually. It's surprising, even with little equipment, once you kind of get into the flow of it and the rhythm of it, you do quickly start to get through fields and crops and stuff, so it doesn't take long. But it would be nice to have in the future a slightly bigger combine, we'd be able then to obviously complete even more. It's everything's eventual. We'll get there. But for now, as I say, we've done well today. We've accomplished a lot. I say we did the field directly in front, and as I say, we've got this headland done, we've got this field opened up. Once we get obviously the harvest done, then we'll be flat out into baling and collecting. Probably we'll do the baling on camera, but I won't do the collecting on camera, because boy is it painful watching me collect bales. So I'll probably do that way round, but and then we'll be into autumn ploughing again, so the big case will come out, and the big David Brown will come out, and we'll be ploughing away again, and then we'll be drilling. I don't know whether this year to leave it all winter ploughed and then just drill sorghum in the spring, just for a sort of different variety of crop. You know, I may well do that, as I say, just for something a bit different, because we have sort of grown wheat 2 years in a row now. Although, to be fair, you know, wheat has been on 2 new fields, so in theory we could grow a first and then 4 fields of second wheats. We could do that. That's not you know, unrealistic and unheard of. You know, second wheats are quite popular because second wheats can sometimes yield higher than first wheats. So, you know, it's not unheard of, you know, for us to do that, so we could do that. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave this episode here. When we come back in the next episode, whether I'll have done any more or not, I don't know. But we'll still be in this field, that is for sure. Because I think, you know, it's important that we all see the harvest and what have you, and then, as I say, we'll be on to baling then, and then into getting into the winter months again. But yeah, thanks ever so much for watching, everyone. I've really appreciated having your company, and for you taking time out of your day to watch my videos. Really do appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Bye for now.